loss the other night?
Mixed. Everybody reacts differently, you know. For me, you know, in season, it's pretty hard to draw a smile out of me after a loss, even the next day. You know, some of our guys react like I do. And then you got some other guys that move on quicker. And, you know, so you've got to put the loss behind you. You've got to get ready to play the next game. You look back on it and you go, well, it's Mississippi State. It's a game we're supposed to have at home. You look at the games that are coming up, and many of them are going to be more challenging than that. But then you look at Mississippi State and a roster and the way they're playing, and having beaten Florida State and Vanderbilt and then Auburn in their last 6 games, they're a good basketball team. We didn't play well enough to win, and turned it over way too many times. Didn't defend our backboard, and we allowed a team that was longer and more athletic and quicker, and we've played many teams that have been that way, to do the things that you can't do to give them, put them in a position to win. Our live ball turnovers were really bad because our turnovers led to easy runouts and gave those guys confidence. So, you know, we're pretty down, but we got to pick ourselves back up and see if we can continue to improve and get better. And that's been inconsistent.
How hard is it for you, considering the success you've had almost every season of your coaching career? I mean, you just said played a lot of teams that are quicker and bigger and
Right.
more athletic. How hard is it for you to kind of cope with the circumstances?
It's hard, but you wouldn't want it to be any other way. In other words, you know, I'm not happy about it. You know, I still love my kids. I like the fact that we compete, and I think they're giving a really good effort. Is it who likes getting beat? And I'm never going to be okay with it. And you don't want your coach to be okay with it, and you don't want me to be having a lot of fun right now, because it's hard to when you're up against it. So, but I mean, I understand that's what it is, and I'm going to be as every day. I'm going to try to be as positive as I possibly can about finding ways and things that we can do to be successful. And you know, I understand the process. I've been through it before. I've never lost quite as much as I'm losing now. But I knew that when I took the job. I knew the state the program was in. We've done a lot of really good things to grow the program, improve the program, and the last place it's going to have an effect is going to be on the court. We talked about that before, and that's, you know, obviously the case.
How's Taj after the injury the other night?
He's okay. How about the right shoulder going out? It's not his, excuse me, the left shoulder going out. It's not the one that's been popping. He's had no history of shoulder problems in his career, and he's had 3 or 4 subluxations or whatever you call it, right?
So it was basically the same thing that happened on the other side.
It wasn't not as bad. It definitely was not as bad as the others have been. So it is in his left shooting shoulder, even though it just went out slightly, briefly, although painfully, is in a much better state than the right one was. His first one was a lot more severe. So he's got a chance to play. He's got a chance to play on Saturday.
Because of the right one, just to get the long-term with him, Bruce, is that something where, I mean, essentially you're looking at off-season surgery potentially on the right one?
I don't know. What I've been told they'll try to do is continue to rehab it to see if they can get it to the point where it's strong enough to be able to not go out again on him. We don't think, at least I don't think at this point, there's enough damage in there to have to require surgery right now. But obviously something's got to be done, either therapy, rehab, surgery is a possibility. But right now I don't think it's at that point.
You've obviously been in rivalry games and rivalry series throughout your career. This one's probably a little bit different than most.
Yeah.
Experience. What are your impressions as you enter this first
What?
program?
I mean, I love rivalries. I mean, who doesn't? You know, go back to your high school and think about the high school rivalry and how important it meant to the people in your community and in your town, or in this case, your state. And So I understand that, and I understand the responsibility that comes along with it. And I look forward to it. We're going to have a rivalry with them on the court. We're going to have a rivalry with them in recruiting, because both Coach Grant and myself are committed to recruiting the best local players in the state. I'd like to try to think that in a couple of years, this game could be on ESPN or CBS as opposed to the SEC network. And there's nothing wrong with being on the SEC network. But could this game be looked at someday in the next few years? Well, I've got to get our program to the point where it can be looked at that way. It's not right now. I've had great rivalries. I mean, when I was coaching at Southern Indiana, Kentucky Wesleyan was our rivalry, and Southern Indiana, Kentucky Wesleyan were two of the top 5 programs in all of Division II when I was there. And when I was at Wisconsin-Milwaukee, it seemed like pretty much everybody was our rival. It was Green Bay for sure, but Butler and UIC and Detroit, it seemed like, because we were competing for the championship every year, that we had a bunch of them. At Tennessee, it was Vanderbilt and Kentucky, probably with our biggest rivals. Florida would have been. And I just know those games mattered. They mattered more to our fans. They mattered more to me. And so you want to win them all, but there's no team I want to beat more than Alabama in the SEC, because I'm Auburn's coach, and that's how I feel. That's how our fans feel. It's a good Alabama team. It's really good. They're a Wichita State win away from being an NCAA tournament team right now. Put that game on their resume, and they're in pretty good shape. They still can get there, and I still think they might get there, because I like their team. They've got good size. They've got great guards. And Ricky Tarrant coming in, kind of like hopefully Kareem Canty will come in for us next year, the timing of it was important, because Trevor Relaford dominated the ball for that program for the last several years. I've known Trevor for a long time because Coach Grant beat me on him when I was at Tennessee. We wanted Trevor. He had been recruiting him a lot longer than I had. That was actually the year I had committed Aaron Kraft and Josh Selby, 2 really good point guards, and lost those both commitments, one in May and one in the summertime, and got on Trevor late, and he was really going to go to Alabama. We just couldn't get him to flip. And terrific player. But Tarrant coming in, timing was great. He's really good. Randolph's really good. Cooper, both those 2 kids are senior, really good. The little guard Coleman is really good. They've got depth on the front line. So it's a good team, and they guard well. They run good stuff offensively. It'll be a challenge for us.
You've had a tough time on tough road environments thus far. This may, other than Rupp Arena, this may actually be your toughest, because this is a sellout. It's in state. You've got the football trophy ceremony at halftime. What do you have to do? You talked about bringing your own energy, but what do you have to do coming off a loss also at home for this game?
We got to make shots, and you're not going to get to the foul line as much, and we're a team that relies on getting to the foul line. We got to defend. Can't let them kill us on the boards. We can't give them live ball turnovers and give them easy offense. So we do all those things. We got a chance to be in the game. The road has been a struggle for us. We did not play well at Colorado and got physically dominated. Played well enough at Texas Tech and should have won the basketball game. Clemson, we had Trayvon Reed come back after no days of practice, and Mason came back. That was his first game back, and that was just a really difficult game given how the roster came together a little bit, and we grew into that. Vanderbilt, don't play well in the first half, play well in the second half, play well in the second half, and give ourselves a little bit of a chance down there. Florida, we get overwhelmed. So we have enough veterans on this team to guys should not be as affected by the road as we have been. As a team, we're so new that I can understand why we struggle. Every game is another opportunity for you to see if we can't fix some of the things that are ailing us. And, you know, it matters, the game matters, so see if we can, got to be in the game first before you can win it. And we've not been in the game for large stretches of some road contests.
Bruce, against Mississippi State, and with 15 minutes left in the game, it seemed like everything kind of started to change, and you almost made a remarkable comeback, really.
Yeah.
Was it adjustments on your part, or what changed at that point?
Well, I would say probably two things. One, our defensive intensity did pick up. Two, we stopped turning the ball over in front of them. You know, offensively, we ran things much better in front of our bench. And that's been pretty consistent. Then we get them in front of us in the second half. We're getting the ball to spots a little better. We got the ball in the Sim a little better. We got the ball in the KT a little better. We don't do a very good job getting Simi on the basketball. Our guys don't pass it well. They don't fake a pass to make a pass. They're not prepared when they catch it to handle ball pressure, to get the ball. He's open in there, and we don't find him. We found him a little better. Got the ball to KT a little bit more, and in certain situations after he started off so well. Stopped turning it over. So played better defense, stopped turning it over, got the ball we wanted to get, shot, you know, good percentage. But Mississippi State made plays. They made shots and plays when they had to. They had 4 or 5 big plays at the end of the shot clock where they got it done. And it was just, we had spotted them too big a lead to be able to finish the job.
Wanted to get an update, Bruce, because we're past the midpoint of the season on Matt, and just seeing, is there any chance of...
No, I don't see there's any chance he plays
maybe
this year, yeah.
much, but.
Yeah, I don't. He's walking better. He says it feels better. We do know he's having some more healing, but he's demonstrated that he's not been a real quick healer. So it's still, you know, it's still a work in progress, but there's no chance he comes back this season.
Bruce, kind of characterize your relationship with KC in the sense that he goes through these funks, and I know they drive you crazy where he just gets loose with the ball, and a guy that old, you probably expect him to be a little more safe with the ball.
Yeah.
Tell me just kind of how you deal with that.
Well, sometimes, you know, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And so, you know, KC and Antoine, they've both worked hard at trying to adjust to our style of play. You know, I think, you know, for both of them, the athleticism, the size of the SEC is going to be challenging, and they can both handle it, and they both have handled it. You know, KC he's not always tuned in. He's not always focused in, point guards need to be. When he gets the ball, he needs to know where everybody is, and he needs to know when they need to be there, and there shouldn't be any surprises for him when he's on the floor. And sometimes there are. You know, sometimes he gets surprised. So, yeah, would like him to be more alert. Would like him to be more focused. Would like him to, you know, listen to the scout a little bit more. Kind of be more of an extension of me as a coach on the floor. He's not, and can't change that in 3 months.
I mean, we were talking earlier about you do a better job of getting Sin the ball. I mean, that starts with KC, right? He needs to know the plan, and he needs to be the ace guy to get that ball in, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, your point guards have to be facilitators. They have to know where everybody is at all times. And they have to have a different level of preparation like a quarterback does. And he doesn't have any different level of preparation than anybody else on the team. And that would be something that if I had a few years with him, we could fix.
You guys good?